He was never meant to survive that day in North Yankton. Michael DeSanta faked his death, betrayed his best friend, and traded freedom for a lie, all while convincing himself it was the only way. As someone who has replayed Michael's missions countless times, I still find his midlife crisis relatable. That feeling of being stuck despite having everything is portrayed so well in his story. It is not just about crime, it is about the cost of trying to fix your past with more bad choices. Childhood that built a criminal. Michael was not always sipping wine in a Vinewood mansion. Born Michael Townley, he grew up in a harsh trailer park surrounded by neglect and an abusive father. Life taught him early that survival came before dreams. Still, he found a brief sense of purpose in high school, becoming a star quarterback. But the normal path slipped away fast. Instead of college, crime took over. Whether it was poverty or pressure, Michael chose the streets. Along the way, he met Trevor Phillips and Lester Crest. They were more than crew. They were the only family that made sense. He got married young, had Tracy in 1991 and Jimmy in 1992. But his double life never slowed down. Between 1988 and 2004, he pulled off heists across the country, each one bolder than the last until it led to the job in Ludendorff, the one that would burn it all down. Prologue, heist, and fake death. In 2004, Michael, Trevor, and Brad Snyder attempted a high-stakes bank robbery in the snowy town of Ludendorff. It should have been a clean getaway, but it all went wrong within minutes. Alarms triggered, police showed up fast, and shots were fired. Brad was hit during the escape. Trevor made a run for it. Michael, wounded, was believed to be dead at the scene. But that was a lie. It had all been arranged with the help of Dave Norton, a corrupt FIB agent. Michael made a secret deal. In exchange for information and stepping away from crime, he would be given a new identity. That deal gave birth to Michael DeSanta. The man the world thought was buried in snow had actually started a new life in sunny Los Santos. The FIB covered the details. Brad ended up dead in a grave that was supposed to belong to Michael. Meanwhile, Trevor believed that both of them had been killed. It was betrayal hidden behind a handshake with the government, and it set the stage for everything that would follow. Domestic disillusionment and therapy sessions. Years after faking his death, Michael found himself in the hills of Vinewood, surrounded by luxury. Big house, swimming pool, expensive cars, and all the things he thought would bring peace. But it was empty. His marriage with Amanda was falling apart. She spent her time shopping and cheating on him with her tennis coach. His kids barely respected him. Jimmy was lazy and Tracy was chasing attention on reality shows. On the outside, it looked like he had made it. Inside, he was cracking. Every week, he sat on a therapist's couch, talking to Dr. Ija Friedlander. Those sessions were more comedy than healing. Michael paid the man to nod and listen, but never really got better. He was angry, confused, and deeply unsatisfied. It was clear the past was catching up. Even though he had escaped the heist life, he never found peace in retirement. The mansion did not feel like home. The people in it felt more like strangers, and the guilt from his old life still haunted him. Michael was stuck in a life he thought he wanted, but could not stand living. Meeting Franklin and rekindled criminal spark. Everything started shifting again in 2013 when a young repo worker named Franklin Clinton crossed paths with Michael. Franklin had been sent to repossess a car that Jimmy, Michael's son, had purchased using shitty financing. Things went sideways. Michael was hiding in the backseat and pulled a gun on Franklin, demanding he drive through the dealership window. That act, chaotic as it was, marked the return of Michael's appetite for thrill. It did not take long for Michael to see something familiar in Franklin. There was hunger, frustration, and that same urge to make something bigger out of life. Michael took him under his wing, not like a mentor, but more like a guide to the darker road. When he decided to pull off a high-stakes jewelry store heist, it was Franklin he turned to. Lester Crest, the old tech genius, returned to Planet. That job was a game changer. It broke the calm of Michael's fake retirement and sent a message to the city that someone serious was back. I remember feeling the surge of adrenaline in that chase. Michael clearly does too. It brought back a spark he had not felt since the snow in North Yankton. Trevor's return shakes foundations. Some things are better left buried, but the past does not stay quiet forever. Trevor Phillips had always suspected something was wrong about the 2004 heist. When he caught wind of a news report about a familiar style of robbery in Los Santos, his instincts flared up. After years of believing Michael was dead, he started digging. The clues led him to the truth. Michael was alive. That reunion was not joyful. It was chaos, confusion, and rage. Trevor burst into Michael's life like a storm. His anger was not just about the betrayal. It was the years of lies, the grief over Brad, and the feeling of being left behind. He screamed, accused, pushed, and threatened, and Michael could not deny it. He had set up the deal with the IB. He had chosen survival over loyalty. The confrontation between them is one of the most emotional scenes in the entire game. Very shocking, yes, but also hurt. Michael is not proud of what he did. He tries to justify it, but you can see the guilt in every word. This sequence reveals Michael's guilt and vulnerability like no other scene. He is a man cornered by the consequences of his own decisions. Heists under FBI pressure. Soon after reconnecting with his criminal roots, Michael found himself tangled in the ugly politics of law enforcement. His past deal with the FIB came back to haunt him. Agent Dave Norton reappeared, this time dragging him into conflict between the IB and the IAA. Both agencies were corrupt and both wanted to use Michael and his crew for their own games. The missions became more dangerous. He was forced to rob an armored truck, sabotage a tech company called Lift Invader, and even break into an FIB building to steal data. None of it was for personal gain. It was all to keep the agencies satisfied and keep his freedom. Michael had no real control over his choices. Every move was about survival. During this time, his relationship with Franklin deepened. Trevor remained volatile and unpredictable, while Michael kept pretending he had things under control. But the truth was, he was tired. He was trapped again, not by enemies, but by the very people who promised him a new life. Within the trio, Michael often represents greed. Not just for money, but for comfort, respect, and the illusion of control. His story is a warning about chasing peace in all the wrong places. Final heists and existential choices. Everything in Michael's story led to this moment. The Union Depository gold heist was massive, both in terms of money and consequence. It brought the crew back together for one final job. But the tension was at its peak. Trevor discovered the truth about Brad's grave, finally realizing how deeply Michael had betrayed him back in 2004. That discovery reopened every old wound. Once the heist was done, 3 different paths stood before Franklin, and each one shaped Michael's legacy in its own way. If Franklin chose to kill Trevor, Michael would live but carry the weight of another betrayal. If Franklin chose to kill Michael, it ended his story in bitter isolation. And if Franklin chose to save both, then Michael got a rare second chance. No version offered a perfect ending, only different forms of guilt. To this day, the impact of that choice lives on. Grand Theft Auto V shipped over 215 million copies worldwide. That means Michael's story has been experienced by more people than almost any character in gaming. His arc is not just entertainment, it is a piece of modern digital storytelling that left its mark. Aftermath and current status. Life after the heist is quieter but far from peaceful. If players finish the game with the Death Wish ending, the trio survives, but their bond is clearly fractured. Trevor no longer trusts Michael. Franklin keeps some distance. And Michael, despite surviving everything, is left to reflect on a life filled with hard decisions. He tries to reconnect with his family, spends more time at home, and seems to find small pieces of peace. But something always feels off. In recent fan discussions as of June 2025, many agree that Michael still seems emotionally adrift. His therapy sessions are often called useless, just recycled loops where nothing ever changes. He has the mansion, the money, and the safety, but there is still a hollow feeling. Watching Michael sit by his pool after everything, I feel a pang. I think many of us can empathize. Sometimes, no matter what you win, the losses still echo louder. Legacy fan theories and future DLC. The impact of Michael DeSanta continues well beyond the original game. In online forums and community posts, fans have been speculating about his return. There are unconfirmed rumors that a new GTA Online summer update in 2025 might feature Michael again. Nothing is official yet, but the excitement is real. Some also believe he could be referenced or even featured in Grand Theft Auto VI. A few sharp-eyed players noticed small hints, like a poster showing Tracy DeSanta in early leaked footage. That alone sparked dozens of fan theories about whether Michael's story might pick up again in the next game. It is bittersweet to think his saga might continue, but I would welcome returning to his complicated world. There is still more to say, especially when a character is this layered. Michael's story might be done, but the impact still lingers. Which moment defined him most? Betrayal, survival, or trying to make things right? Comment below, like, subscribe, and tell me who should be next.